Holy War, week 18. It's Sunday, May 3rd. Today I went to the Sikh temple of Utah. If this is your first time seeing me, I'm Aaron. Hi, I'm a personal trainer, yoga instructor, and meditation facilitator here in Utah. I work with my clients to combine strength training and spirituality into one practice to transform people and to make them stronger outside and in. So if you're seeing this video, this is the 18th episode in a series where I am visiting 52 different churches every week this year, and then talking about the experience that I had there, and then rating each and ranking every place I go to. We're at week 18 so far. So here's what went down today at the Sikh Temple of Utah on Redwood Road in Taylorsville. And spoiler alert, this is a new high score. So I walked into the temple today knowing basically nothing about Sikhism. I did a little bit of research just to kind of be a little prepared to show respect and not embarrass myself when I showed up there, but I knew basically nothing. I walk in and take off my shoes. There's a giant shoe rack. It just so happened that when I showed up, an older couple was walking in right after me. They could tell I had no idea what I was doing. So the husband escorts me over to the corner where there's like everyone there has to cover their head. The women are wearing scarves, the men are wearing turbans. They have in a corner by the shoe racks like a little bin with scarves, essentially bandanas that you can borrow for the day if you don't have your own head covering. So this old man walks me over there, grabs a scarf, and uh, I knew that that was going to be a thing. So I was looking for the scarves. He takes me over there, takes the bandana, goes like this. I bend down so he can tie it himself around my head so I can join the service. So right away, I was greeted with kindness there instantly. So he wraps this bright orange bandana around my head. Then you go wash your hands. And then I follow him and his wife upstairs into the main room for the service, the kirtan. As we're walking up the stairs, she turns around and hands me a $1 bill and just smiles. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. What is this for? But we go in, and at the front of the main room, there's this big altar. There's another old guy up there sitting on top of the altar. And then to the left is a three-man band, essentially, playing music, live music. It's all in Punjabi, so I can't understand a word of what they're saying. But you go up to the altar, you bow, you put the money in the altar. That's what it was for. I didn't even know that. She just gave me $1 to be able to participate in the service. So you bow, then you get all the way down on hands and knees and bow forehead to ground, and then stand up, bow again, and then go find your seat. So nice old man number one walks me over to the back of the room beside his buddy, nice old man number two. And when I say take a seat, there's no benches, there's no rows, there's no pews. I'm sitting on the ground. So this old guy beside me, he's on a chair because I found out later that he was 86 years old, and I'm sitting on the ground beside him, and he's kind of like guiding me through, like, okay, here's what's going to happen next. We're going to go for this long, and then we're going to go eat, and you're going to come with us. And I'm like instantly just welcomed into the whole scene. So for the kirtan, they're singing the shabads. They're all in Punjabi. I don't know what they're saying. Luckily, projected on the wall at the front of the room is the words in English. So I'm just reading along while basically they're singing scripture. It looked like this. So after an hour of sitting cross-legged on the floor, then we end, Everybody is saying Waheguruji to each other, Waheguruji, Waheguruji. And then we get up and he's like, okay, come downstairs. Now it's time for lunch. So I go downstairs and there's the langar, the kitchen, and they just serve up free food to everybody who's there. Doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, what you look like. Everyone goes and nice old man number two escorts me down the stairs. He tells me what to expect. He gets me a plate. He's telling me which foods to get, and there's like fried bread, and there's like fried vegetables, and there's like a cornbread type thing with like mint jelly, and there's other like sweet bread and a dessert. Then he pours me a cup of like spicy Indian tea. We go sit down at one of the tables. He sits down across from me, and we just talk about life and his sincerity and generosity. I can just feel coming off of this guy. And we talk about life. We talk about living in Utah. He tells me about Sikhism. We talk about family. He asks me about my kids. He tells me about his grandkids. It was amazing. This stranger's kindness and genuine, loving presence was the religion. He wasn't preaching, he was embodying what he believes. It was truly humbling. Here's how I'm going to score the experience I had today. For number one, for meaning and message, how effectively did the service offer interpretation of existence, purpose, worldview, clarity, direction, or insight into the human condition? 9 out of 10. For ritual, the experience flow. This covers the structure, pacing, transitions, music, the overall ritual container. Also, 9 out of 10. For ethics and integrity, this asks, does the messaging and atmosphere reflect moral cohesion, compassion, humility, honesty, and responsibility? 9 out of 10. Number 4, community, energy, and belonging. This measures the felt sense of the congregation, openness, inclusion, warmth, diversity, and authenticity. Easily a 10 out of 10. Next, 5, learning and cognitive expansion. Captures intellectual insight, new perspectives, or meaningful growth. 8 out of 10. Lastly, heart, the heart resonance and the emotional impact. This measures feelings of love, compassion, forgiveness, peace, comfort, and inspired action. Also an 8 out of 10. That's going to give the Sikh Temple of Utah a high score of 53 out of 60. Here's how they rank compared to the first 17 experiences I've had in the first 17 weeks of the year. If you do not know anything about the Sikhs, that doesn't matter. You should go to a kirtan on a Sunday and just observe, just enjoy, observe, go just for the food even, but the people were even sweeter than the food. If you're still here and you're wondering why the hell is a personal trainer talking about going to different churches, it's because of what I've seen in my clients, in how when we inject spirituality, whatever that means for them, when we inject spirituality into strength training, it works every single time. If you're interested in that as a concept, I wrote a book called The Tao Day Gym. It's on Amazon. You can check it out, buy a copy for yourself and for a friend, and it will change the way that you approach the gym, and it will also change the way that you approach prayer. And maybe we'll even encourage you to combine those two disciplines into an integrated practice for body, heart, mind, and your soul. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next week with something completely different.